Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Akers, and today I'm talking about the millennials and also one of the riskiest oversold investments out there, but it's not ever marketed in that way, but that's how I like to refer to it because I think it's important to understand it in that manner. This video was inspired by all the cash closings and the cash video that I did the other day. And before I go on any further, as always, a quick disclaimer: I'm not an attorney, accountant, CPA, financial or business advisor of any sort. I'm a real estate investor and a licensed realtor. Always make sure that you're seeking your own advisors and never take any action without taking consult from an appropriately licensed professional. For broker and legal information, go to jeremyakersrealty.com. Any discussions of returns on investment are hypothetical, and as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. So anyways, millennials are getting lots of press lately because of the student loan debt has been huge and the burden that it's had on housing. In fact, some of the housing articles out there almost take a slant as if they're blaming the millennials. Now, who are the millennials? Millennials are generally the age range of mid-20s to mid-30s. So again, those people that have that high college student loan debt. Typically. And there's variations as to the age group, but it's within that age range. I'm a millennial, and I identify with it because I pay too much for college. And if you're in that age group, you have these historically high rates of student loan debt, like unbelievable amounts of student loan debt, and it can be a burden just getting into housing, and almost like an emotional burden. And at the end, I also talk about ways for if you do have a lot of student loan debt, or if you want to start getting rid of that, or improving your finances, how to do it. I did it through real estate, and I continue to use real estate as my way to take me into the upper class of society. So I was inspired by the cash video because if you're young, you have a lot of student loan debt. It's amazing how many cash buyers are out there, and it's almost like, where's all this cash coming from? A lot of the articles that blame millennials as to the slow housing recovery, a lot of times I'd like to read the user comments at the end, and you always see like the older generation saying, get a real job, pay your debts, if you take out a debt, you need to pay it, and blah, blah, blah. And then the younger generation will comment and say, oh, you hogged all the good times, you got all the Social Security, you got all the entitlements, and blah, blah, blah. So it's always like two different crowds, an older generation and a younger generation arguing about this whole student loan problem. And I don't think that does much good. I think I'd rather focus on solutions as to how to improve the situation, because, like it or not, I think this is the new norm, and this is going to be here to stay. So anyways, millennials, this video is not just for the millennials. It could be anybody who feels like they're having trouble getting ahead and cleaning up their finances and improving their financial life. But the riskiest investment of them all that I want to bring up is college, student loans. I don't know why, but they never advertise it this way. There are no disclosures in this manner, but college is an investment. Whether you're studying arts or anything unrelated to business, it's an investment, and it is a business decision. And that's not something I understood, and I don't think most people understand when they take out that debt. And for two reasons. A, most Americans, there are studies that have shown that most Americans do not have strong financial education. And B, the target demographic of colleges, I should say, is 14 to 18 years old. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's gotten so competitive. If you want to get ahead in college or get a good job, you have to start declaring your major or have an idea when you're like 14 years old. I mean, you start preparing for med school when you're 14, if not sooner. You start preparing for law school or engineering schools at 14. I mean, that's how crazy it is. So what does a 14-year-old know, or a 15, or a 17, or an 18, or a 21-year-old, for that matter, know about finances? What do they know about taxes? If you may say, oh, I make $100,000 when I graduate, but what will you actually make after you pay your taxes? Every state has different taxes too. So I don't think most 14-year-olds and 18-year-olds understand money like that. And so that's the reason why it's gotten out of control. And then the colleges, who are the ones that are truly benefiting, because they're the ones getting the investment. They're the ones getting the profits. And profits that have historically hedged inflation and exceeded inflation. So the true beneficiaries are those probably marketing and advertising for students. It is the riskiest. It is the most oversold, riskiest investment of them all. That's college education for you. Okay. So anyways, if you're a millennial and you want to know how to get ahead, I think every financial investment person out there doing videos or writing, they always disclose, you know, you could lose your principal, you could lose all of your investment, and that's true for real estate. There's no discussions of that when you take out your student loans, unfortunately, but that should be disclosed, and that should be a federal mandate to disclose that to students. But I think the reason why is because there's no loss of principal. You can't, it's not your money to lose, you're borrowing it, it's debt. And that debt is like becoming an indentured servant. You cannot get rid of it through bankruptcy. So it's a little bit tricky, and I think that's why a lot of the advertisements have been able to get around this whole investment issue. They want to separate themselves from being an investment. But the truth is, don't deny it. It is an investment. You must get a return on your student loan debt in order for it to be justified. Otherwise, you know. Okay, so if you maybe did not know all this when you were 14, that's okay. You know, there's still opportunities out there for you to start improving your life, improving your finances. For me, I'm a huge advocate of real estate. I love real estate. Real estate is what has helped me get into the upper class of society and really break through barriers beyond just having a job, but actual true financial freedom. I think this video is very important for millennials, and not just millennials, but those 12-year-olds out there who will not be seeing this video because they have no interest, which is normal for 12-year-olds. But the burden placed on even younger generation, younger than the millennials, is quite daunting. The burden is huge. The truth is, there's going to be so much more debt. It's going to be so much harder. As I say in almost all of my videos, this is what motivates me, is the sadness that comes from the erosion of the middle class of America. And student loans are going to help fuel that tendency of eroding the middle class. It's very, very sad. A lot of the students that are graduating, they're facing higher unemployments that are unprecedented, accompanied with this level of debt. And then I just read an article saying 1/3 of millennials are living at home. If you are in that situation, and I understand you may not have a great relationship or something like that, or that opportunity, you know. But if you are, take advantage of it, save, get your debts down, and invest your money. And so there are ways to get out of that financial situation and really improve your finances. So anyways, in the next video, I really want to gear it towards those millennials who have high student loan debt. And again, it could be anybody who has high debts or anybody who's just trying to break through the financial tiers of society. But I have some tips and strategies, and it's a lot of mindset. And it's related to real estate because, as I said, for me, that's what's been very beneficial for me. So anyway, stay tuned for the second video coming up right next, and I'll go over some tips and strategies. Again, all inspired by the millennials and those who don't have all the cash for all these real estate closings, upwards of 60% in 2013 for my Dade County, Miami, Florida. Ridiculous numbers of cash closings. And ways to start improving your finances. If you are in the millennials, as the headlines say, millennials are getting shut out of the housing. Ways to fight that, push through, and get into housing as an investment if that's what interests you. Anyways, thanks for watching this. Stay tuned for the second video. I'll get into some more tips and strategies.